Wendy. So I heard today that you wanted to talk about vitamin K and if your baby should receive vitamin K at birth or not. I heard that you are leaning more towards declining vitamin K, especially if your baby has a more gentle delivery and not a traumatic one. So before you fully dove into committing to not doing vitamin K, I just wanted to provide you with a little bit more information so you had the full scope of information before you went forward. So one thing I want to say is vitamin K deficiency bleeding is broken up into 3 categories. So there's early vitamin K deficiency bleeding, which happens in the first 24 hours. Then there's classic, which happens within the first 2 to 3 days. And then there's late. And the late vitamin K deficiency happens within the first week to 6 months of life. So there's a ton of myths saying that if your baby has a traumatic birth, they should receive vitamin K. And if they have a gentle birth, then it's not needed because they won't have a bleed. They had a gentle birth. But that is actually not true. There's not a ton of evidence that supports that. There's really not any evidence that supports that, especially for those with late vitamin K deficiency, because they're so far out from their birth that it doesn't have any correlation. Vitamin K deficiency bleeding can also be correlated to more significant things like cystic fibrosis or gallbladder disease. So it is important to understand that if your baby does have a bleed, that it can have a significant impact on their life, that it is extremely dangerous, and they are in a very life-threatening situation if they do have a bleed. So I just wanted to inform you of that before you fully went forward and made that choice. I think that it's important to know a lot of the things that you hear online aren't necessarily supported by evidence. Another thing that I wanted to let you know is we do offer vitamin K drops. The IM injection is the most researched and most effective form because we know exactly how much they're getting. But there are drops that are an option. So the one thing I will say about the drops is they're not as researched, and we don't exactly know how much the baby's getting just because they could spit up or it could drip out of their mouth or things like that. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope you have a better understanding of vitamin K. And if you have any further questions, let me know. I also have a handout to send home with you today.